I'm a coffee slut. You're probably a coffee slut too. We're going to be talking about coffee bags. More so like the psychology of the way you probably go about actually purchasing coffee. I like to change it up. I don't like to drink the same cup of coffee for that much longer. But can you do the same thing in a 2-pound bag? I believe you can. Do you do a big ass bag of coffee, like a 2-pound or 1 kilo bag coffee? Do you do a 12 ounce, 16 ounce bag? Or are you type of a sample type of person? We live right now. And we're doing pretty good right now. So I know you're curious what we're talking about today. And we're going to be talking about coffee bags. More so like the psychology of the way you probably go about actually purchasing coffee. I just want to understand a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, it's helpful for me as my coffee roaster, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I am a person who loves coffee, right? So whenever I look at the competition or when I look at people selling their product and stuff, I always look at things that they're trying to do and why they're doing it and all that stuff. I think eventually I'll change my bags, but right now I have so many bags, so we're gonna roll with what we have until we get rid of them, okay? But I do like them. I wasn't too much of a khaki person, but this is what it looks on the screen if you're looking at this. Oops, this is kind of crazy. But yeah. And I want to talk about coffee bags. On Amazon, and what I usually sell to people is this bag right here. This is a 2-pound bag. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. And this is what it looks like if it was full, mostly. And it's a 2-pound bag. I went this route because I noticed that people were interested in the 2-pound bags for some reason. It's one of those things to where it's easy for them to drink their cup of coffee, to know how much coffee they have left. I know you can do it in a smaller bag too and everything, but I guess what I'm saying is that it was a little bit more convenient compared to the smaller bags that we were going to be talking about, right? So since you are hopefully enjoying the video, you like, subscribe. And ever since I did that years ago, people have been liking that appreciation or the production, or I don't know really what I'm saying right now, but they've been liking that delivery system of a 2-pound bag. You know, it's a lot easier to consume. They have an understanding of how much coffee they'll be drinking, and they'll keep it for a month, a couple of weeks. And then hopefully they'll come back, you know. But I'm going to say something later on that's going to be kind of trippy. So we'll keep going, okay? So now we're going to talk about the 12 to 16 ounce bags. These are 12 ounce bags, but you can put 16 ounces in it. And what's up, Dougie? You got to get out of here. I'm just talking. I'll give you some more food later, okay? So this is the 12 ounce bag. This is what people are normally used to, especially in a grocery store or even online, especially when you talk about specialties coffee. They give you about a 10 to 12 ounce bag and you're good to go on your merry-go-way for a couple of weeks, a week or two, something like that, depending on how fast you like kill the coffee. So this is a 12 ounce bag. And I'll tell you which one I prefer personally versus business wise or whatnot. Okay, this 12 ounce bag. And then we have, like, I say this is more so like a sample bag. This is a 4 ounce bag. This is what this is and everything. You know, you're familiar with this. Sometimes some specialty people, they'll give you some coffee in this bag for like $20, right? If you're that type of bougie type of person, which is fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. So it's about 4 ounce bag. This will probably last you a couple days. You'll probably stretch it out, probably do different things with it, right? You'll probably want to drink it over the weekend. You probably want to not give it out to people, but you want to experience that deliciousness, that specialness, even more than what you normally drink with a bag of coffee, right? So this is a 4 ounce bag, right? So I don't know really why I brought this particular topic up, but I think it's very important that we do talk about this, because in order for you to get and receive your coffee, it has to be present it in a way to where you're accustomed to, that you're like appreciative, or I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that I'm bringing this up, and you may have thoughts and opinions about how you actually go about drinking your coffee and what you look for when you actually drink a bag of coffee, right? Something like that. Me personally, I actually prefer the personally, not business wise, because it's a lot easier for me business wise to roast you a 2-pound bag of coffee, and then probably in a couple of weeks you'll probably come back and get some more coffee, or you go to somebody else or whatnot. But a 2-pound bag is the jam for, I think, majority of people, especially people who just wants some coffee that's consistent, that's tasty, that's a staple in their family lives and all that, either ground or whole beans or whatnot. Whole beans and ground coffee people, that's a story for another day. We'll talk about that eventually again. I think I've talked about it before, but we can revive it and kind of change it up a little bit. But I guess what I'm saying really right now is that the beauty of coffee in a 2-pound bag is that it's easy. It's easy to know that this is how much coffee you're going to have. But again, me personally, and I don't know about you personally, but I like variety. I'm a coffee slut. You're probably a coffee slut too, but if you are, you are. You're not, you're not. But I guess what I'm saying here is that I like to change it up. I don't like to drink the same cup of coffee for that much longer. I like to do it for like a week, then change it up and drink a different coffee. I like to go on this journey with coffee, and the best way that I know how to really go on that journey with coffee without going crazy and changing a lot of parameters that I'm dealing with is by changing the bag up. I can be really lazy with my setup and the way I go about it. For instance, I'm really big on the Harvey V60, Harvey V60 switch. So that's the way I kind of go about it, right? And a lot of times I'm just lazy. So I'll use the same grind size. I'll use the same brewer. And the way that I change it up within my whole system is through that actual coffee. Because it's new, it's different, it's exciting, right? It's something that you probably haven't tasted in a long time. Those are some of the things that I think about whenever I drink coffee. And I'm in a unique position to where I can pull coffee out from the roastery and drink it for 5-6 days and then move on to the next bag. So you probably have that ability too. You don't have a roastery, but you can go to the store, go online and get coffee. So that's my biggest thing, to just go on that journey to really see what that coffee can do for me, what I taste, what I don't like about it, what I do like about it, things I can change about the way that I'm tasting that coffee with a couple of the parameters that I do have with my Harvey V60 or Harvey V60 switch. Even sometimes where I'm like just bored and just done with the coffee, I'll probably do espresso and all that stuff. I guess what I'm saying is that the 12-ounce bag gives me that ability to do that. And sometimes that's a little bit too much coffee for me, because again, I'm the type of person that I can have, if I drink that coffee probably about 5, 6, 7 times in the span of a couple of days, I'm good. I'm done. I'm ready to move on to the next one. Coffee slut. Again, I'm not trying to bring that up all the time, but that's what I'm getting at. So sometimes even a 6-ounce, 4-ounce bag may just be perfectly fine in what I'm looking for, because I just want a little bit of a taste. I just want to be on a short, quick journey with that coffee. So I think that's very interesting that I'm saying this, and that may be the same way that you are particularly are when you go about drinking or selecting your cup of coffee. You may frown upon if you do see a 2-pound bag. I don't know. Tell me. It's one of those things to where we are like thinking about why we buy the coffee that we buy. And even just thinking about this, it's a lot of psychological thinking going on. And when you do things like that, those are some of the things that I think about. And me just being like extremely honest and transparent and giving you information the way that I look at it, it's really cool that I'm really just talking from the heart. Meaning, because I don't rehearse these, I just kind of think about a topic and I just go from there. So I like a smaller bag personally. Business wise, nah. It's just a lot easier for me to give somebody a bag of coffee and hopefully they can enjoy it for a month. And then they come back or they don't come back and they can move on with their coffee journey throughout their lives. It's a lot easier for me. I will roast it, put it in a 2-pound bag, and then move on. Again, it's convenient. And me just thinking about that person who buys that 2-pound bag is like, how often do they drink coffee? Do they drink it all the time? Do they like the convenience of the 2-pound bag? Is it a lot easier to pour the coffee or whatnot? Well, what is it that I'm trying to really seek and understand? I think that's the thing that I'm really trying to get at here. But again, do you frown upon when you see a 2-pound bag? Do you think that's too long to have that coffee? Are you like me to an extent to where you are liking the journey of trying something new as often as possible? And the reason why I came up with this topic is because I was talking to another coffee guy. He's in the business too, and he sells his coffee, and he showed me some of his bags, and they look really good. And I was really shocked and surprised that he was like, no, I got 2 bags. I got a kilo. He's in Netherlands and whatnot. And he says, yeah, I use the 1 kilo bags. The smaller bags are for the coffee sluts, And that's true. If we are individuals and stuff like that, and we care about the journey, the difference of the coffee, I think it bodes well a lot more when you have a smaller bag of coffee, because you can go through it a lot faster and then you can go do the things that I mentioned earlier. But can you do the same thing in a 2-pound bag? I believe you can. The reason why I say that is because if you have all the gear and you have all the knowledge and you have the creativity in order to try to manipulate and see what you can get out this coffee, then a 2-pound bag could be a really cool journey. Just because you are doing it so many different ways, you're brewing it so many different ways because you have so much of it. You're probably brewing it with friends, family. You probably have an espresso machine, playing around with that. You probably use different coffee makers to see if you can bring different things out of the coffee. Those are some of the things that you can truly really do with a 2-pound bag of coffee. Even though the journey is a lot longer, you'll probably have a more of appreciation for that coffee too. That exact same coffee, but experienced and enjoyed in so many different ways if that's your jam. That's interesting that I'm just thinking about this out loud, and probably that's what you do too. If you are a 2-pound bag type of person, like you like a big bag of coffee to explore, to enjoy, or just to drink, probably it's not all about the journey as I romanticize it to an extent. What about that? What do you think about that? I wonder about that all the time. We can have a discussion about it. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to know about any of this stuff, because the way you go about doing things, it mostly matters to you. And me on this soapbox of just talking and just thinking about what you probably go through, those are some of the things that is curious and fun, and that's the beauty of this channel, this talking and all this stuff. It's just because we can actually talk and communicate with each other in a way to where we can't really do that any other way. That's really the beauty of this. So with that, me saying all that, I think we're mostly done here. So think about it. Let me know what you think about it. Do you do a big ass bag of coffee, like a 2-pound or 1 kilo bag coffee? Do you do a 12-ounce, 16-ounce bag? Or are you type of a sample type of person and everything else in between? Does that define who you are? Let's talk about it, okay? Well, that's what I got for you for now. Quick and easy. Kind of interesting. I think it's cool. And this is just a old school way of kind of going about it, the way I usually do these. But talk to you later. Bye.